So I'm in the process of restoring it's a mid-80s Cub Cadet 582 Special. It has a peerless transmission and an opposed twin Briggs & Stratton. And the hitch on it now is just a pin hitch, and I want to put a 2-inch receiver on it, and I need to weld up a plate for it. So I'm going to be doing the unthinkable today. That's right. Welding up a 2-inch receiver with this is my 90 amp flux wire welder from Harbor Freight. I'm going to be using E71 TGS, so gasless flux core wire, and I'm going to be using it on wire feed speed of probably around 3. It's a little bit less than that right now, but I'll put it up to 3. A piece of pretty thick steel. I think this is about 3/16, maybe a little more than that. I've got my lines drawn out here. I just used a colored pencil. I think it's 5.5 by 5.5, and I'll show you the tractor here in a second. So this is the tractor. She's in pieces. It was in really rough shape whenever I got it, and we pulled the transmission, painted it. It's a cast iron 4-speed peerless with reverse, like they all have. And I'm going to use these 2 existing holes here, and then I'm also going to drill another 2 above and below it, just so that the hitch will have plenty of support and it should be strong enough to hold that. With the trailer empty, it weighs about 800 to 900 pounds, and that tractor, it will pull, I'm sure it'll pull it on level ground just fine with even 2,000 pounds in it. So this hitch has got to be pretty strong to support that. So this tube here, it is about 1/4 of an inch thick. Maybe it's about 3/16. It doesn't quite look like it's 1/4, but it's pretty thick steel. And this is the plate. I got this plate. It was here whenever we were cleaning out the barn, and I figured, heck, I'm not going to throw that away. So I'm just going to cut this piece off here, and then you guys will see me welding it. This is just the back side of it. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it is actually diamond plate. So I'm going to put the diamonds on the outside and the flat side in. I think it'll give it more strength, and I'll have plenty of room to put weld in there to really weld this on good. A subscriber of mine, Jeffrey Byer, sent me this Lennox Metal Max cutoff blade, and I have to say I really like this thing way better than I like those cheap cutoff discs that I buy from Harbor Freight. This thing is pretty nice to have. It has the diamond tips on the edge of the blade, or the diamond dust or cuttings, but it works pretty good. This was my, I don't know, 2nd or 3rd time using this cutoff wheel, and I'm used to it throwing a whole bunch of sparks out, like like a regular cutoff wheel does, but this thing doesn't throw nearly as many sparks off the blade, and that's something I have to get used to. So I've got everything lined up here. And it's time to start up the good old Chicago Electric 90 amp flux core wire welder. This was my first time trying to, I put the shade that came with the Harbor Freight helmet over top of my camera lens, and this actually works. I might start doing this from here on out. So I've already got it tacked up, and it's time to weld this thing solid. This is going to take a lot of welding There's a chance I might hit the duty cycle, but this is my first weld basically with this welder being on, and all I'm going to do is just do one big weld, so it probably won't kick on.
So the duty cycle did not kick on the entire time that I was welding this. I did about a 2-inch weld, messed around with the camera a bit to stop and start it, and then I turned the 2-inch receiver, clamped it back down with the ground clamp, and then kept welding. So I didn't hit the duty cycle at all. I did 2 passes on each edge. So I would have done 8 passes total on the whole thing. And this little welder seems to do pretty good. I noticed that the steel that the Harbor Freight one is, that the 2-inch receiver is made out of, is much cheaper than the steel that I'm welding it to with the plate.
So there's the first bead. And it's funny, this thing looks like a smokestack. All the smoke coming out of the top of it. So there's one bead, and I'll switch it around and we'll do another. So here's pass number 2.
I did end up, I finished this entire thing with no problems basically. And I should have been wearing some welding, like a welding coat or something, because I got a pretty bad welding, I guess it's a sunburn, but from welding, on my right shoulder, and my skin the next day was about as red as my tool cart, and now, I don't know, it's probably been almost a week now, and my shoulder is peeling. So this has happened before to me, but it was such a hot day outside, I didn't really want to have to wear a welding or long sleeves or anything.
So here is the 2-inch receiver, and here's one of the welds if you guys wanted to see it. Now, I'm not a professional welder, I don't ever claim to be. However, I can put 2 pieces of metal together, weld them, and get them to hold. So I don't expect to have any problems with this hitch. I think should hold up pretty good. I know there's going to be some people that are going to say, "Well, you didn't really get much penetration," or you probably should have preheated it. And maybe to start out with, but once the welds got hot and then the heat radiated out, you can see the bluing all along the side here. This is probably the worst weld. Probably should have gone over that some more, but it's good enough. But it's blued, and there's a little bit of reddish pink in there also. So, but it did pretty good, and the edges are blue also. So, I mean, I got quite a bit of penetration. That was where I started first, I think. So it looks pretty good. I'm happy. So I think that's about all I have to say for this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you all in the next one.